These slopes in PG are all covered with trees, creating a beautiful scene. The trees that were planted here have been on this piece of land for close to 7 years and are far from harvest or being cut down. This is a mechanism to help reduce the ever-increasing rates of deforestation in the country. This farm belongs to Robert Bariho, who started growing trees as a money-making venture. This has seen him now expand his business that has as well turned into a passion because of the environmental impact.
We have planted in a way that the natural trees in the valley have not been touched. So we are so mindful and conscious that while we establish these commercial big plantations, we do it in a way that we don't harm the natural setting. We actually avoid deliberately where they are and conserve them.
For one to take up forest plantation, you require to have at least 25 acres of land and to be financially stable, and you must have a viable forest management plan. Pinus caribea was Robert's desired species to plant and often does well because of the end products.
It requires well-drained soils, though it may grow on slightly marginal soils. Yeah, that's why you see it grown. Also, it can grow on flat areas in deep fertile soils, but also on slightly shallow soils on hilltops. So that's Pinus caribea is adapted to a wide range of site conditions.
The trees have to be aligned in straight rows and cones at specific intervals to enable them grow freely and not fight for space. This gives them enough pruning space, which makes them grow taller. Weeds too have to be cleared.
If trees grow in weeds, they tend to grow crooked. As the tree is growing, it will tend to bend in the direction of light. So you end up with a crooked stem. But as you know, if you're growing trees for timber, you need your stem to be as straight as it can be so that you get long, straight planks. But if it grows crooked, then you definitely, cannot get your good planks from there.
As the trees grow, one has to do constant thinning, which is cutting down some of the trees to create space and increase in diameter of the trees and to allow them to grow without any competition. These trees can be sold for firewood. It takes 18 to 20 years before someone can actually harvest the trees for a timber sale. However, there are the ever-increasing myths that these plantations drain the soil nutrients and are not good for the environment.
Plantations are actually good for the environment, and the main reason plantations are actually also contributing a lot to environmental conservation, because when we grow trees, what we're doing is we're providing an alternative source of timber. People will move away from harvesting from natural forest since they have now an alternative source of timber from plantations. And so by reducing the harvesting from natural forests are conserved since there is an alternative source. So it's directly, contributing to conservation.
The trees also absorb carbon up to 3,000 tons per hectare per year, on top of controlling erosion. But for now, the biggest challenge is the cost of managing these forests because of the equipment that is required and used in the plantations. Fires and encroaches too have posed a challenge to the practice.
The forest fires, especially during dry season, you find that again a lot of these encroaches, while they are opening up land for agriculture and preparing land to graze their animals, set up fires that end up destroying the trees on these plantations. And it's a major problem because establishing these plantations is very expensive.
The investors who carry out commercial tree planting are mainly focused on the financial gains, but contribute to forest restoration of the environment in the long run. Uganda's natural forest plantations have reduced from 15,000 hectares in 1972 to less than 1,500 hectares today and are expected to go lower in the coming years. Krikadoda, NTV, EcoTalk.